to 3. You're going to see your opponent at least twice. So if you have some kind of strategy like a first pick Tassadar and that gets identified in the first game, you're going to have to probably show something else in the second game. So here is where I feel we start to see the amount of depth the team has and how they try to switch up their strategy.
And I think a Tassadar ban would be even more welcome here because the Shrine Control is just, the name of the game, right? And Flame is Lame has already showed their willingness to pick those sort of drafts on this map, especially in combination with the Ariel and the Vala. They're going to gain a lot of value if Firm Handshake allows Flame is Lame to pick up the Tassadar. So I think that's actually going to be a hot topic in this draft. So.
If I'm on the side of Firm Handshake, I would be, and I did any sort of studying on how things have gone tonight, I would heavily consider the Tassadar ban. But we're about to find out. All 10 players are in the lobby. It looks like Flame is Lame will be the team enjoying the luxury of first pick, first ban. So the onus is definitely going to be an old Firm Handshake to consider taking the Archon off the grid.
Man, I got friends on both sides of these teams, It's difficult for me. It's so painful. Hayo's a good buddy of mine, Deadly Ice is a good buddy of mine, Weak Shot is a good friend of mine. It's like, who do I cheer for? Nobody, because I have to maintain that neutral, unbiased third-party view, right? Professional.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Needless to say, man, I'm very excited about this series. I think both these teams are going to pop off, and we're going to see probably some more interesting drafts than we've seen for most of the evening. Again, I hope we see Malthael, especially in the hands of these teams. I think they're going to really be able to show the effectiveness of that hero. And even on a map like this, it forces your team, if you're playing the Malthael, it forces your opponent to show up to the shrine and fight you where, there's going to be 3, 4, 5 enemy heroes and they're going to be clustered in an area around the shrine. So that's best case scenario for the Malthael. I want to see him, man. I'm really excited about that hero.
I really want to see Malthael in the hands of Firm Handshake in particular. Mainly because I want to test the stamina and endurance of Flame is Lame. I feel like this is a team that has a ton of potential. Oh. And they're in a situation right now where they're in something of a transition. They're having Legend Shot Call for the first time in competitive setting tonight. Yes. So they're operating in a different capacity. Malthael is one of those heroes where suddenly all your health is gone and you don't really notice it. So they have to make snap decisions and really be decisive in how they approach team fights.
Yeah.
Do they have the resolve to capitalize in those situations? We're gonna find out.
Oh, Flame is Lame on that first pick. Ooh. There's the instant ban on Genji, and bless RNG. Let's go, baby. Firm Handshake just remove Tassadar from the equation, and there's the Malthael pick. All right, I actually think God himself listened to me before this draft and gave me exactly what I wanted to see. Malthael picked up first for Flame is Lame. They're looking for that Shrine Control, Halorn.
Absolutely. I mean, for you, that was best case Ontario, but with 2 heroes to select.
Same.
For Firm Handshake. Luther's going to be the 1. Nuba's going to be the 2.
This is disgusting. So far we have Malthael, a very highly tuned hero, and a Nubarak Uther on the other side. Ariel Vala instantly locked in for Flame is Lame. Both of these drafts, they know what they want. Both these drafts are thirsty for blood. This is amazing. I'm so stoked.
Well, we were hoping for some team fights, and no, I certainly was. And here we are in spades, I would argue. Ariel Vala, story is as old as time. Yeah. Ariel has a ton of hope thanks to Vala. Malthael hangs back, plays the suspense violin, slowly starts to melt down health bars until at level 16 where it's not slow at all. That's going to be a lot for old Luther to deal with.
It is. It really is.
Some more sustained.
And so far, I was going to say, I think the Dahaka is actually the pick for Flame is Lame. So Firm Handshake looking to deny that Dahaka is fantastic, because then they're just going to go Dahaka plus another just strong frontline warrior. And that's just going to be so difficult to deal with if you are Firm Handshake. So Dahaka banned off, the Stitch is banned off. Basically what you're looking at now for Firm Handshake, they have their 1 warrior picked up. They may elect to choose another one, but are they looking at a mage? Again, we saw Kael'thas a little bit earlier on this map. We didn't see him to his full potential, but I do like the pick in general right now. Greymane is still available, of course, with the Uther and Anubarak synergy. That would be a fantastic pickup. So, any thoughts on these on the 3-4 picks?
It's going to be difficult. I mean, we'll see how they want to approach Heroes of Storm with these two heroes. I think there are a lot of different avenues to go. The more I'm thinking about this composition, I think they're going to need another support of some kind. My reasoning for that is this. Malthael has that health reduction talent at level 7. Uther has very long cooldowns on his Q and W. If you have that, you have next to no sustain in these team fights. Vala has sustain damage and burst damage.
Yeah.
That could be brutal.
Yeah. So the Diablo and Greymane were picked up for Firm Handshake. I love both of those picks. They say, hey, you're making a comp that wants to sit on the shrine? Cool. We have Diablo. Like, have fun. I love that pickup for Firm Handshake. Now, do we see... Okay, never mind. I'm done. Medivh Arthas. Okay.
Well...
Okay. That's a good response, though. The Medivh into the Diablo, like, that's a pretty good response. And the Arthas is going to be nigh unkillable in this situation. Actually, no, Greymane can blow up Arthas really fast, but like with the Medivh changes everything.
Yeah, Wall-Time Force of Will can definitely shift the dynamic of any team fight. One of Arthas' biggest weaknesses is that he does not have high mobility. Portals definitely answer that. Opens up a flood of opportunities for both Arthas and Malthael, so I think we'll see some cheeky play. Comes down to the level of coordination. I mean, we were talking about legend shot calling for this team for the first time tonight. How well will they do in a coordinated setting against their greatest challenge yet tonight in form of Firm Handshake? They want to throw a whole different layer of difficulty on top of that by taking Medivh. They're challenging themselves in this draft.
Absolutely. And like Medivh plus Malthael, I'm just... All of the cogs are spinning, and I'm going over the synergies. Like the portal plus just him instantly being on the backline with Tormented Souls. Like, that's going to be pretty sweet. Nice. There's the Kael'thas I was talking about. I love the Kael'thas. Fantastic pick.
Yeah, I think he definitely will add a lot to the table. You have another lockdown in the form of Gravity Lapse. AoE splash damage will definitely slow down the sustain, even with Medivh as a part of the equation. Actually, conceptually, people huddling together trying to get in the portals could pass around the chain bomb. So you never know.
I think Kael'thas just in general is a good pick into Medivh exactly for that reason. Because, you know, a bunch of people like sitting in the queue trying to get into that portal, you know, like they're all stacked up. That's exactly what your win condition for Kael'thas is. So I like that pickup. And it's also just objectively good on this map.
Yeah. The thing I'm looking forward to the most is seeing what kind of value Malthael gets off of that level 7 talent. Again, I'm assuming they're going to go for the heal reduction. When you're going up against solo Uther, those long cooldowns, if you make them half as effective, they could hurt. But we're about to find out. Everybody, I hope you guys are excited as we are. This is the best of 3 between Flame is Lame and Firm Handshake. Over on the left, we have the former. Shot is playing Arthas. Malthael's being controlled by Deadly Ice. Dark Chimera back again on the Angel of Hope. Trap Queen is playing Medivh, and Legend Demon Hunter on boss.
And on right in red is Firm Handshake. We have Lex Uther playing the Diablo, D Steve's on Greymane, Heyo playing Uther, Necromonger's on Kael'thas, and Vestige on Anubarak. Speaking of the Anubarak, we are seeing the new Rubian armor picked up. You know, a lot recently, we've been seeing the Regeneration Master for the Anubarak, so we'll have to see how that one plays out, especially considering the recent nerf to it.
Trap Queen scouts ahead. Malthael's in the top lane, mind you, so if this becomes a heavy engagement, this would be a numbers advantage for Firm Handshake. Shot hanging out in the bush. I don't think he's been sniffed out just yet. Lex Uther's squiggling around on Diablo. Nobody wants to get in overpower range. Oh, they find Shot.
Yeah, Shot is actually able to position a little bit aggressively there, even though it's a 4v5. Well, it was a 4v5, because he does have the Medivh there. Medivh able to portal him away from danger if he steps up too far. So, you were talking about the limited mobility of Arthas. That's kind of fixed with the Medivh pick, right?
Absolutely, but again, it comes down to excellent coordination between teammates. So far, Flame is Lame have shown they are definitely capable of doing that. I thought we might see some fireworks out of the gate. Both of these teams seem to respect one another. They're just trying to play things by the numbers, keep the macro pressure where it needs to be. They don't look for team fights just yet.
Completely irrelevant to the gameplay, but Deadly Ice last game had the Smiley Cloud mount, and now he's on Angry Cloud mount. He's ready to play. Yeah.
Oh, he comes firing out of the gate. He's upset. He's ready to go. At least it's not the sad mount. I can't believe you like a sad mount the best.
Hey, that's the best one. Come on. Yeah, the rotations for Flame is Lame, just going mid-bottom, waiting for this first shrine to spawn. You know, they do have a really good shrine contest comp. Actually, both of them do, honestly. So they're both kind of just playing safe, waiting for that, and they're saying, hey, we're going to meet you on the shrine, we're going to fight you for it. That's actually what it seems like they're looking to do so far, and based on the draft, I would say that's definitely it. Necromonger's making the rotation top. Deadly Ice now caught a little bit out. Does the Gravity Lapse land? That's going to be the story of this gank. The Wraith Strike to dodge. Gravity Lapse still not there. Necromonger's fantastic play there by holding it. If he would have used it, that would have been a completely free getaway. So nice job by holding the Gravity Lapse the entire time. Wait, he used it.
Well, Mountfield did everything they could to try to get out of there. Ultimately, I do believe that Gillian cocktail, jukes or not, would have been enough to secure that takedown. Ultimately, it's going to be one takedown in favor of Firm Handshake. There's the Shadow Charge, the Overpower into the Anubrak Burrow. Perfect timing between Vestige and Lex Luthor, but no takedowns netted thanks to the mobility provided by Medivh.
Yeah, so both of these teams now contesting on this shrine here. Vestige taking a little bit of damage, and same with Lex Luthor. Now the Shadow Charge and Overpower lands, shot in a little bit of trouble, but he actually manages to soak all the damage. Now Diablo in trouble. Lex Luthor goes down on that front line. Diablo, Heyo now looking to, yep, he goes down as well. He tried to survive, but the Uther ends up dying. Deadly Ice now taking a lot of damage too, and D Steve's with the Reaper's Mark, the last bit of damage. Oh my gosh, it's not enough.
He had single-digit health at the end of that. Absolutely insane. A Great Man gets out of there, but that is going to pave the way for the first Punisher to go over to Flame is Lame. Medivh cheats, Colin, because that Force of Will on Arthas saved so much damage. It looked like there was such a heavy commitment from Firm Handshake to get Arthas. That Force of Will absorbed it all, and then they were just caught forward. Incredible play by Track.
I actually thought that that was going to go in Firm Handshake's favor because of that engagement. I even said Arthas taking a massive amount of damage, but the shield, Force of Will, was just too good. I'm still so confused about that Kael'thas's Gravity Lapse. Did he use it on that gank? I don't remember seeing it. Okay, fair enough. The charge from Vestige going in to try to kill Trap Queen. Not quite enough, but now Lex Luthor rotating down for the kill.
Goes in, gets the Shadow Charge on Trap Queen, continuing to look to press the issue. Shot's going to slow him down, though. There is the Overpower, though. Force of Will is not going to be there this time. Medivh does go down. There's the Impale onto Shot, who manages to get away, not spread around the Chain Bomb. But I do think with the takedown, Firm Handshake's just back on out. Yeah,
not too bad there for Flame is Lame either, because Deadly Ice on the Malthael did push out the top wave completely, and Firm Handshake did lose an entire creep wave because of that. So nice job by Flame is Lame to just try to capitalize somewhere else on the map when they were losing a kill down on the bottom. Firm Handshake now taking their Khazra camp to try to force a little bit of lane pressure in between these shrines. You know, bottom Khazra picked up for Flame is Lame as well. So bot pressure for the blue team, mid pressure for the red team.
As suspected, Master's Touch is going to be the talent of choice for Medivh. So should he complete that quest, the talent's going to go through the roof as far as damage goes. Malthael finally does lock in mortality, so no healing reduction. Okay, I'm sure Uther's like, feels good, man.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. You know, I like mortality, but I'm not sure if it's the best pick, especially in a competitive setting.
Well, again, in this situation, it's a solo Uther has those long cooldowns. If you negate that healing and he's just stuck sitting there twiddling his thumbs, you have effectively won the team fight. I get it, you're going up against double warrior, but Kyle, I feel like overall more value is somewhere else.
He's being cheeky. Like, Deadly Eyes legitimately took that exclusively because he's in the solo lane. And like, he just dueled D Steve's there, and D Steve's had to back up and tap the fountain because of it. So that extra 4% gaining, you know, a little bit of value. So Shrine's now spawning mid-top. Both of these teams, no camps available right now, but they're both taking their Fallen Shaman camp. So pressure going to be on the top side.
Yeah, both teams definitely understand the ebb and flow of this map. Get those bruiser camps while there's a Punisher phase to fight over outside and get value, but both teams have the same idea, so that stands to neutralize itself. Heroic should not be here by the time this team fight has its principal elements play out. 10 defenders, though. Firm Handshake are ahead. Lex Luthor jockeying for position. Almost went in for the overpower on a shot, decides not to. Catches the mark from outfield, so that'll be a good amount of health taken off the health bar. Flame Strike is going to hit shot for the poke. Both of these teams playing footsie, but they're not looking to go in.
It's true, and Trap Queen not able to get any stacks on the Master's Touch right now, and this is kind of the best case scenario for you when you are a Medivh, so, because everybody's stacked up, right? You want those stacks. Okay, here comes the Qs. Now, Shot actually walking forward with the Force of Will. Again, so much damage onto Lex Luthor and Heyo. The Malthael gaining so much value. There's the strike coming in, but meanwhile on the backside, Legend is getting dove by D Steves. A lot of damage coming out from the Greymane, but the Detainment Strike comes out, and that's a dead Greymane.
Greymane's not going to have the magic trick that time. He gets taken down. A devastating portal is going to provide the escape. That engage on the back line almost had a generous amount of success, but Anub'arak is going to get rooted, is going to get stunned, is going to get slowed, is going to get rocked, and that'll be another Punisher going over to Flame is Lane.
And that was the story of which does more damage to the backline. Is it the Greymane against Ariel Vala? No, it's the Malthael, like uncontested onto 3 targets. That's what it is. Malthael actually just did so much damage that fight, and now, you know, the Arcane Punisher pushing down this mid lane. Level 10's available for Flame is Lane. Kael'thas showing on the top lane. This is a big moment for Flame is Lane.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be absolute green light. The one thing you're worried about is Kael'thas' AoE splash damage when you advance. When he shows himself in the top lane, it's time to have fun. Middle fort is going to go down, 25% left still on this Immortal. Do Flame is Lane look to go in? That's a nice 3-person stun, but they opt not to follow up. They have their heroics. I think they could have gone in there and see what they found.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of nerves here showing, because Firm Handshake is probably the best team that they've played against, you know, in a little bit. So no engagement there, and perhaps just Medivh is, you know, too scared to lose those Master's Touch stacks again, because, you know, it's 2 deaths on the Medivh. He's only at 2 stacks at this point.
Yeah, that is going to get reset, and as long as that pressure remains, that's definitely going to work out in favor of Firm Handshake. They do not want to see that quest complete by any stretch of the imagination. Cocoon was finally going to get selected for Anub'arak. Phoenix, Divine Shield, go for the throat, so no burst damage in on Arthas. There's a nice Detainment Strike from Dark Chimera, and a Variant Thinking Spray for flavor.
Firm Handshake committing to the bottom Khazra camp here. Meanwhile, Flame is Lane are taking their camp to try to, you know, gain some pressure in the mid lane. It is going to be on the keep wall eventually, so I like the call there to trade out, especially considering how 13 is so close for Flame is Lane. So Firm Handshake, you know, I would have expected them to aggressively rotate and try to invade on that camp or something, because they need to get a fight before 13 shows up for Flame is Lane.
I agree. I mean, the 5v5 team fights just have not yet gone in their favor. The times they've had success it's been more in skirmishes or in smaller isolated engagements. When you're on even talent tiers and you're about to be down your 13 and you have Apocalypse with Diablo and Anub'arak, go in, go ham when you have that chance.
True. I completely agree with you. And now, you know, a little bit of a missed opportunity. Flame is Lane's going to pick up the 13 in no time here. And the Shrine's going to be spawning as well in a very short period of time. Meanwhile, Deadly Ice taking some damage on the top side. The Gilnean Cocktail comes out, and Malthael chunked down, but he's going to be able to heal up a little bit with his Q. D Steve's actually doing a massive amount of damage, forcing the Malthael to tap.
And he's not afraid to use some tower damage to do it, so he's definitely bearing things, so to speak, on Greymane. The next Shrine is going to activate right meow, but with level 13 already picked up, I'm not sure how aggressive Firm Handshake wants to be. They might catch the old stiff arm if they stick around too long.
Yeah, we see Necromongers kind of positioning away. Meanwhile, Greymane is actually just sitting on the Shrine. Trap Queen showing up here on the Medivh, and if you're caught into that Shrine, man, you're gonna be a dead rat. So we do see the rest of Firm Handshake walking through the lanes. We got Diablo bottom, we got Kael'thas mid, and this is what I talk about often, right? I'm like, hey, there's a significant experience disadvantage for X team. They need to be 3-soaking, and we see that happen immediately, and it just shows the maturity of this team.
I like this decision a lot. Yeah, I think teams we've seen even earlier tonight might have gone in there and tried their hand at a tier disadvantage fight and found out that's pretty much a bad time. Diablo down in the bottom should get a good amount of value. If there were going to be 3 people in the top lane, I would have rather have had Diablo up there just for the potential disengage. Trap Queen almost gets sent back to base for dropping a portal and saving his baby.
But he is a master wizard, and he does not fall to the likes of Firm Handshake. We do see Firm Handshake now rotating up. And like you said, the ley line is not up there. But yeah, this is the fight that Firm Handshake are looking for sure. Medivh doesn't have the ley line, so it's something that they want to force.
Gravity Lapse goes out, it doesn't land. I thought Vestige and Lex Luthor might have tried to flank on the Dark Chimera. They had their heroics, they opted not to. Punisher is going to go down. Even the Well stands in the top lane, so a firm defense from Firm Handshake. But sooner or later, Kala, they got to get aggressive.
Interesting. Okay, so Firm Handshake are so good so far at just responding to what they need to do, and they've been soaking really, really well. And you know, if this continues, it's Flame is Lame aren't going to be able to push their advantages in terms of experience for much longer. We do see them aggressively rotating now, like I was talking about earlier. Like they need to be looking to take things away from Flame is Lame, force those fights when they can, because sooner or later it's going to be the 16 to 30, or 16 to 15, right? And they don't want to take that fight. They want to take this fight. So hard camp taken away from Flame is Lame, and now top lane is being pushed by Firm Handshake.
Yeah, press the issue. Make Flame is Lame respond to you. That seemed to be the name of the game for Firm Handshake. Job well done on their part. That's how they're going to get ahead. Shadow Charge goes into the overpower, but the teleport, the portal goes down, but there's the stun. I think if they commit it, they do. They do take them on Mouthfeel. I thought they backed away enough for them to get out of there, but they followed up with the damage. They got the takedown, and that's what I like to see.
Literally exactly what we were just talking about, and now it's 15 to 15, and they're going to get that 16 to 16 fight over a Shrine if they continue this up. Actually, at the same time, you know, Flame is Lame are positioning down on the bottom side of the map with their Khazra camp, and they're looking to push the keep wall, but they're just responding. You don't want to trade when you're behind like this. You want to, or sorry, you do want to trade when you're behind. You don't want to trade when you're ahead, and that's what Flame is Lame was doing. We were talking about them not pulling the trigger when they had their 10s on that mid fort, like you were saying. And you know, if that sort of behavior continues, they might put themselves in a bad situation.
Yeah, what on surface looks like a zero-sum trade actually favors heavily Firm Handshake, in my opinion. It caught them up on experience. They got the takedown on Mouthfeel. They'll have level 16 now. This next team fight is going to be on even footing. And with that Bruiser camp having been stolen away earlier, we see Greymane over in the top right corner with a couple of members getting the Bruiser camp here. If this becomes a long team fight, especially that favors Firm Handshake when it's all said and done, this is a huge momentum swing back their way.
Yeah, and this is the 16 to 16 that Firm Handshake are looking for. So this is going to be an explosive fight. At the same time, Firm Handshake also have their hard camp pushing top.
This could be big. You see the Burrow go into the Impale. Lexu throw on a charge as well, trying to make something happen. Flame Strike goes in. Deadly Ice teleports forward, pops the R, gets cocooned near immediate. Shot out front. See, he's jumping back. The low health part of Flame Strike goes in. Gets massive value on Mouthfeel's face. Leyline's a hair late. Arthas cooks as well. The portal. Everybody on the side of Flame is Lame that's alive wants to go.
And that's the 5 for 2. You have your Fallen Shaman camp pushing top. If you're Firm Handshake, you just take this Punisher because it's completely free at this point. Send one mid after and you clear that wave, and all of a sudden the entire game is traded in your favor. And I actually do think this is because of the reluctance of pulling the trigger for Flame is Lame. They didn't take advantage of the experience advantages they had earlier, and you know, Medivh without his Master's Touch finished, he becomes less and less relevant as time goes on.
He is only 14 stacks in. He has a long ways to go yet if he wants to make that a factor. So at the moment, he has no talent at level 7. It's going to be a Frozen Punisher picked up for Firm Handshake. Trap Queen trying to play Scout, doing what they can. Vala's in the top lane, and I believe has showed themselves there. So we might see a very forward-leaning Firm Handshake push on this bottom lane.
And they positioned on the fort so much earlier, so this is a full health Punisher now onto the keep. They might look to do some damage on the keep. The Burrow goes in onto Shot, the follow-up Punisher stun, and now Shot is so displaced on that Arthas. The Aegis goes out, but I don't think it's enough to keep him alive, and now that's a 1-for-0 trade.
A perfect engagement from Firm Handshake is rewarded with this nice takedown on Arthas. That should pave the way, at least for the first keep, but they follow up after the Punisher. They want absolute blood. Vala implodes, Leyline seal goes out, does not save the day, and Kala, that could be a game-ending.
This is going to be so important for Firm Handshake. Like, they have the 2 kills. They can end this game. The Punisher jumps onto the Malthael, the APOC comes out, but it's not enough. The Gravity Lapse shows up, Deadly Eyes is healing himself up with his Q, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep him alive. He's actually doing crazy amount of damage. The health bars on Firm Handshake are dropping, like, insane amounts. The Divine Shield comes out on a Necromonger, but look at like all of the damage showing up across the boards. Firm Handshake now get 1 kill, but look at Deadly Ice's health. Like, he's floated around like 80% health forever, taking so much damage from Firm Handshake. This is what I'm talking about. Malthael is so hard to judge in team fights.
Deadly Ice, Malthael, Exhibit A. I mean, if that was any other hero in this game, it would be game. Yes. Malthael being able to hang out as long as they did, level 16, what talent did they go for? They go for him, of course they win.
Every time.
Because that damage is absolutely serious. I'm sure the members of Firm Handshake are looking around like, where's our health right now? This is a 3v5. that we're kind of losing right now, and we have a Punisher.
I mean,
to only lose 9% of your core is amazing.
2-level differential. Malthael gets gravity lapsed and stunned by Diablo against a wall, and he just comes out of it at 80% health. Like, hello? Are you kidding me? Like, this hero is so difficult to judge. And now imagine being the shot caller of Firm Handshake when you're put into situations like that. It's difficult to say kill Malthael because how do you kill that which has no life? You know what I'm saying? Like, he actually just stays alive forever.
How do you kill that which? Nice, man. I'm impressed. Level 20 is going to be picked up, but it's still, you know, for all the praises we sing for Flame is Lame to keep this game alive, they are still down 2 complete levels before they get their Storm tier talents. Back is firmly against the wall thanks to Firm Handshake. This middle port is going to be a consolation prize for Firm Handshake after not being able to take down the core. And without their Storm talents, you see Flame is Lame just like, yep. That's fine. Just go ahead.
So far, I like the shot calling from Firm Handshake in that they just, when they have an advantage, they look to just be in the opponent's face and take things away from them. Something that we saw that was a little bit lacking from Flame is Lame so far with this draft. Could it be because of the Tassadar ban immediately? Could it be because of the Medivh pick? Maybe they're just not as comfortable. Who knows? But this is a 20 advantage for Firm Handshake, and this Punisher is going to be on a keep by itself. This is scary.
Yeah. I like this idea a lot. I theorize just go for the bottom keep if you're on the side of Flame is Lame. You cannot reasonably go in there and try to team fight at all without your level 20 talents. I mean, we saw the devastating ability of Kael'thas to absolutely shred people even with this crazy mouthfeel late game. I don't know if you want to try to risk that. Punisher is going to get picked up, but by the time the rotation's here, it should be the bottom keep.
Okay, Flame is Lame did decide to trade this out, but if Vestige just like digs right now and then just stalls everybody forever, like look at top lane. As long as Vestige doesn't just immediately die right now, this is going to be the game for Firm Handshake.
It very well could be. I mean, there's the Force of Will. Legend use the teleport, goes forward from the portal thanks to Medivh. Necromonger takes a good amount of damage as well. Backs away the lane line. See it, Medivh doesn't have level 20, so you don't have to worry about the bank shot. Vestige is going to start backing away. There's the Force of Will. Vestige able to burrow back. And they're just looking to end the game. This is do or die for Flame is Lame. This has to turn into success where it's going to be game 1 going against them. There's the Apocalypse onto 3 members. That's a low health bar and a forever stun. The Force of Will going to save Dark Chimera. There's the Crystal Mages. The core's going down. This is an absolute race to the finish. But I do think that...
Yeah.
I didn't even want to guess it. I didn't even want to guess it.
Okay, but there was a little bit of indecision for Flame is Lame on the bottom. Did you see that? Like, they were like, do we take this keep? Do we stay? Like, what are we doing? We saw them back off, and then I was like, if Anubarak dives right now, he's going to be able to stall. And I think if Flame is Lame just hard committed to that keep, it would have either A, forced Firm Handshake to back off, and then worst case scenario, they lose a fight on that keep, or sorry, on that core, and then they lose the game. But if they do what they did there, the Punisher +3 is going to win topside. So all that was indecision, man. That's all that was. I actually thought that was a pretty good call by Flame is Lame to just try to race like that. They just didn't do it fast enough.
I thought it was an amazing call by Flame is Lame to go in.
Yep.
I thought they were just going to try to rush down the keep and then get the heck out of Dodge. But you're right. There was some middling decision making going on. It looked like they weren't sure if they wanted to advance or back away. And in a situation like that where the margin and window for success is so slim, you just got to commit one way or the other. Either you go all in and you're fine with either winning or losing the game on your terms, or you back away and you do everything you can to defend after you've opened up that win condition for yourself and try to win later on. You try to hang out and walk that middle road, you're going to lose on both. Exactly.
And like, especially because they're against an Anubarak, you can't run away against an Anubarak with Rewind. He's just going to burrow you, Q you, cocoon you, and then just like burrow again. Like, you're just never going to be able to get that time to mount. So nice call there by Firm Handshake. You know, just to keep the rest of Flame is Lame in that fight for just as long as they needed to, because basically it was the Anubarak that made it so that Flame is Lame had to commit, because they were never going to get the back off, which means no matter what they lost, they had to commit to try to win the game. So Anubarak story of the end of that game there for sure.
I would agree with that 100%. I mean, when you look at the compositions between both of these teams, I'm looking at the replay now. The Anubarak Diablo pairing proved to be a much more disruptive force than I think Flame is Lame were anticipating.
Yeah.
It just seemed like the Medivh value was there. We saw some really clutch Force of Wills. It kept Ariel alive pretty long on that last push. We saw it save Arthas and turn a team fight earlier on, but it just never seemed like Medivh was able to set up offensively. Like, he only had maybe 14,000 hero damage, where in other situations you see Medivh have more hero damage than anybody.
Yeah.
So I just think he was just shut down by that aggressive front line. And if that was a different hero, if that was a more standard choice, I think we would have seen Flame is Lame fare much better.
Me too. I do think that a lot of Flame is Lame's draft did kind of hinge on the Medivh, and he didn't gain the value that they were looking for. So again, the Tassadar pick for the ban for Firm Handshake, paying dividends here. Like, that was fantastic. But at the same time, can we talk about the Malthael pick? Like, I know I just keep talking about it, but I feel like Deadly Ice played really well. He stayed alive for, just checking my watch here, 7.5 years on that top dive.
Well, I mean,
7.5 years.
If there was any doubt that Malthael has a place in competitive Heroes of the Storm, if anyone ever says, I don't think Malthael is competitively viable, point them to that last game. That was a 3v5 against Kael'thas, Anubarak, Diablo, and Malthael single-handedly kept that game going. If that was any other hero, even if it was still Deadly Ice, Malthael's sustain ability and ability to do damage on a percentage-based level just overwhelmed Uther, and it had to back away. If it was any other situation, that would have been game right there.
Absolutely. And somebody's only argument could be like, oh, X team just didn't have enough CC or like follow-up CC or anything like that. But we saw a Gravity Lapse land on Malthael, a Shadow Charge into a wall land on the Malthael, and he's still just not even one time dropped low.
Yeah, I feel like if someone tries to make that counterpoint, it's pretty flimsy. Again, you point back to this game. It's like, if you need... they didn't have enough lockdown. They only had Apocalypse, Diablo, Kael'thas, Uther, like Nubarak. They didn't have enough lockdown at all.
No doubt, eh?
They were trying hard
to
take down the Angel of Death, but he wasn't having any of it, man. That was crazy.
It was a good game.